Hello. So for lesson 2, the main topic will be creative problem solving. In the first lesson, we went over a lot of technical skills which you can hone from observing still lives or just from improving any observational skills. In this lesson, I want to talk more about creative thinking, creative problem solving when it comes to drawing, and the possibilities that drawing will bring to you when used as a tool to try and visualize something differently. So as you see, I have 3 images here, and I have them here because for this lesson you're going to be taking at least 3. You can use more, but I don't recommend more than say 5. 3 images that you can choose, and I want you to make at least 6 thumbnails or sketches, and please don't spend more than 5 minutes on each. They're meant to be rough. For example, I'll show you some of the ones I've made for these. So some of them are completely unrecognizable, and that's okay because the main thing with creative problem solving is that, and doing thumbnails in general, is that you want to find ways to communicate your ideas as quickly as possible. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be just kind of give a general gist, and for you to just flesh out many multiple ideas. I did 6. I recommend you guys do at least, I did 5, sorry, but I recommend you guys do 6 because I think usually it takes at least 3 or 4 for like the better, more interesting designs to come. And as you can see, I have some images, my reference images flipped upside down. And I also recommend this if you're in a stuck or you have a creative block. Flipping an image upside down, it sounds silly, but when you're not thinking about, oh, that's a flower, that's a turtle, that's a rocket ship or whatever. It lets you really look at the form, look at the contour, look at the lights and shadow, all those things we mentioned in the first lesson, and then think of it differently, apply it to your work. So, yeah. Another thing, because these are really smaller sketches, another thing I want to talk about was composition and composition. And composition is basically how the elements in your drawing are composed. And a good composition will have an even balance and it will have a kind of balance to it, and will lead your eye across the image in a way that is kind of fluid. There's no confusion. It's not too sparse, but also there's not too much going on that will cause confusion. So I've included the Fibonacci sequence, or the golden ratio as it's known, because this is one of the most famous ideas of how to create a good composition, in that it has a balance, so you still have elements here, but there is the focal point, I'm using another color, is not quite in the middle, but a little bit to the side. And the way it shows you how your eye will move across to a certain point, kind of fluidly, like a snail shell. So when you're making these, I'd rather you think less about making them perfect, or don't think about making them perfect, don't think about making them realistic, but more about how do you make interesting compositions? How can you make the eye move around? And when you find one that you really like, the assignment will be to take that one and flesh it out using those elements we discussed in lesson 1 and composition. So bringing in composition plus the elements we talked about in lesson 1. And yes, that's lesson 2.